all right?
No, not really.
Looks like you're still in one piece to me. Where did you fall from?
Fairyland!
Fairyland?
Oh no! They followed me!
What followed you?
Hello everyone and welcome back to Neopets, the Darkest Faerie. It's time to get just right down into Act 3 as everything comes together. Sort of. Its wings really just look weird. It's like the entire back is stretching in order to make them work. So it's got an itch. So yes, the game wastes no time in getting Tor and Roberta together. Immediately they come together and you can switch between them on the fly. My first criticism is, really, the loading times between both of the characters is really not that bad. The other thing it allows you to do is really understand which enemies are supposed to be for Tor and which are supposed to be for Roberta. Mainly the Brute here being pretty much a ball of strength and health. Using Tor at this point is going to be a lot better, especially when they're fire-based, so using a water mote is very helpful. And then, after that, even though you can reflect their fire-based attacks back at them, Roberta is a lot easier to use at this point, especially when inventories are now combined, so that she has access to all the motes that Tor does as well. Extremely helpful, especially when they can be easier to hit now.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. My name is Tor. Sir Tor, I guess. I'm a knight.
I am Roberta. Thank you for helping me with that fight. You are quite good with that sword.
You're pretty good with those spells yourself.
Thank you. That was the first time I really had to... You have the other amulet.
The other amulet?
The Aisha who gave me this said I had to find its twin. She said it was important. Vitally important.
A beggar gave me this one. He told me never to take it off.
Listen, I know you don't know me, but Fairyland is in trouble. This twisted fairy...
The darkest one you've ever seen?
You've seen her too?
She's taken Mara Del as well.
We have to stop her. Listen, my uncle is the king of Bright Vale. If there is anywhere that we can get help, it's there.
As long as she hasn't gotten there first. Let's go.
You definitely see the eyes that Tormund has versus the purple surrounding them in the cutscene. It's a little bit jarring. It makes Tor a little bit more, I guess, sinister than he should be. But yes, it's going to be a little bit sad to see that there's no clear skies in a lot of places in Act 3 because, well, the purple clouds have gone to everywhere. Not just Illisen's Glade and Mara Del, but all across the land, except for very specific places. So yes, our first goal getting out of here and off the beach is just to head to Bright Vale, heading east. And luckily for us, it just so happens that Roberta and Tor both went off and, luckily for us, are on the east side of the Broken Bridge, as we are in a brand new map to start us off into how big Act 3 is going to be. So yeah, we're in Western Bright Vale right now, and the only goal we have at this point is just to head east. All the way to Bright Vale, which is going to take longer than you might think. The other thing this means is that we have two playable characters at this point, so you might be thinking eventually that there's going to be differences in dialogue. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't, but I'll be pointing out when there's differences in dialogue as we go through. There isn't much at this point in the game. It's going to be a lot more once we actually hit Bright Vale. But, you know, I want to actually just head back over to the bridge. Roberta's dialogue is the exact same, except it's Roberta saying it. But yes, apparently the Bright Vale Bridge is one of the few places that it's just nice and clear skies. You can see that a cloud is swirling over the Black Keep over there. So if you didn't actually explore up to Bright Vale Bridge at this point, you'll get the quest here. Or you can pretty much get it whenever you want, or not at all. It all depends on you. So at this point, we're just kind of moseying along and getting to Bright Vale as quickly or as really slowly as you want. Because, I'll just point out right now, it's longer of a journey than you might think. It's not just Western Bright Vale that we have to get across, but it's also another map and a third map after that. It's 3 maps distances in order to get to where Bright Vale is. And the reason for that is because this is really the game's first signs of telling you that you can go to many different areas, or many different areas are available to you after a certain point. So for instance, back there in the west was the entrance to the Wereloop Woods. Can't really go there just yet. But we'll be seeing a lot more divisions in the road to just different places as we go. That sucks. Those are one of the few places where you can actually get wild peachpas outside of, luckily, finding them off of enemies. Because the only way out of here is, you have the Turtum here, and you have to actually just guide him all the way over to where you lay your food, and that's the way up. It's kind of annoying that it's really the only way out of here. Oh. Great, thank you. I completely wasted another item. Alright. Well, no real harm done. There's a lot of bushes that are going to be around that allow you to stock up free of charge if you're ever wanting anything. There should be more enemies, too. It's very sparse around here. I always find it to be sparse in the Western Bright Vale area, until after a certain point anyways. But don't worry, if you're looking for actual combat in order to actually get to Bright Vale, it'll be around shortly. Right now we're just exploring. Other than the Wereloop Woods route, this is really the only other place that this map diverges. Mainly for a 4-leaf clover. So I did mention earlier that the inventory of both Tor and Roberta's axe gets combined. So if you actually spent a whole lot of time in Act 2 with Roberta getting a whole lot of Neopoints and out of those golden grass that was up in Fairyland, or if you purchase any items as well, those would be part of the overall inventory now. It doesn't tell you this, you just really have to pay attention to what you had between Act 1 and Act 2. So, back there's Mara Del, because now we're at the crossroads. The crossroads being kind of the central hub of being able to go to many different areas that are around here. And the first time you're probably going to be seeing some new enemies, or any enemies at all. Not really new. We've kind of seen a whole bunch of the minion types at this point. Minus one that we're going to be seeing firsthand in this area, I believe anyways. Now the problem with me is that the annoying thing about the minions and how they're shaded differently in color, I still can't discern whether or not a minion is going to be wind-based or water-based. Like, water is supposed to be a deeper blue, and then it's supposed to be a lighter blue, but I guess I just can't distinguish that offhand until I see both of them beside each other, and that almost never happens in this game. Buckshot. Hey, we've heard about... Hello? Hello, sir? Okay, there we go. This is the other minion type that is a gigantic pain in the ass, I will just say that. The Minion Wizard. Now, I will mention that it's like, yes, this archer type is wind-based. The wizard is also wind-based as well. Even though his cloak that he's kind of wearing is a deeper blue. You have to look at his head and his overall body color instead of what he's wearing. It can be a little bit confusing, but that's not really the thing that's confusing about fighting the Minion Wizard. Let's just say he is coded in the most cowardly way possible. So, fighting him with Tor is kind of a great way of dealing quick damage, but the chances of him actually getting stuck in order for Tor to actually get to him and hit him is not going to work. Not all the time. However, if you go again and fight with Roberta, different things happen. Again, the wizards are incredibly cowardly. So much so that they will clip through any sort of geometry they can get their hands on. And if they're in wide open spaces, I guess the developers thought you were going to be spamming the attack button and homing magic at them. So it just means that once you start attacking the wizard and they're in place and not moving around, they will just guard everything that you can possibly do. It's rather unfair. They will just put up their hands and go, no, nothing can reach me. So you kind of have limited options because regular attacks are not all that fun to work with. Either you can fight them close hand with the Roberta, which will give you a little piddly damage because all you're doing is hitting them with a stick, or you can do something different, which is actually switching over to the fire modes and charging them up. I might not have mentioned this before, but if you're charging up a fire mode, what it allows you to do is if it actually hits target, that enemy is going to be lit on fire and take residual damage every so often. It's not much, but it definitely helps with a wuss enemy like this. So yes, I will just say that because these enemies are really annoying to fight and really not fun to even watch every now and again, I will probably be skipping a lot of just the wizard fights if they ever come up. Unless they do something really, really stupid, because as they're running around, that can be sometimes their want. Let's just say that. And whenever I see a brute, it's like, yeah, I can just go to town. It's really easy to deal with them. So there's probably going to be a couple of other archers that are around here, but the crossroads also has someone else here, which is a little bit strange. The dark clouds are everywhere now, but I guess we still need to have a merchant around in order to buy things. It's not like any place else is really going to help us at this point. So we have Gord here, who is our traveling merchant. He's going to be here, and a little bit later in the game, he's going to be relocated. He also is our second map vendor. Outside of the guy that was in the slums of Mara Del. This map is very, very important that you actually pick it up because it goes to the Maralode mine, aka Cogham's secret mine. It's going to be a very long time before we actually get there, though, so as long as you have it and you keep looking at your quest log, it should be really good to go. There's also a map to Lightwater. I'm not entirely sure the reason for why the particular area is called Lightwater, but it is a map to the Mara Del Outskirts. I'm surprised he's also giving these out, seeing as he's a traveling merchant. But then again, he's a little bit dumb, and he has to watch his cart. Because the last map actually goes to an area that is, well, a couple feet from here anyways. On top of that, his cart also has just kind of basic items, but a 4-leaf clover is one of the ones that stick out, as well as another treasure map. So there's the ones you get off him and the one that you get off of the cart. So there's a bunch of different ones. So pretty much 2 areas that we've never even been to, as well as ones we have. We haven't been to the coast yet. There's the Merlode Mine one. This one's really important in order to get. Entirely missable, but one of the very important secret treasures. Lightwater, going to Mara Del Outskirts. Shadowglen Step Plateau, which we haven't been to, and the final farm road. So, let's see here. You have to go back to the crossroads. Yeah, it's across the water over here. So if he parked his cart on the opposite side, he would have picked up this treasure already. But now it's ours. It's also a weird one. I don't know what happened with the texture of this Kavara's potion. I don't even know what kind of texture it's supposed to be for, if it's a separate texture or not, or if it's just an error. I've tried it multiple times, even on like last test recordings that I did. It's also come out as that, so... Okay, man, could I at least get up so that you're not talking to me below a ridge? Thank you. So yeah, no more. He will restock soon. So just remember that he will restock. I don't think I even want to deal with a magician at this point. Probably I could. He's gonna get stuck in a tree. There we go. Very effective. Well, not so much, but... nope. Are you good, man? Okay. But they dodge so much. My goodness. I will try to use Roberta as much as I can, because there is always the case of the imbalance between how much you have played Tor versus how much you've played Roberta. And Roberta is, again, a weird kind of spellcaster range character in order to use, but once you get used to it, it's a little bit more bearable. Now, if you ever thought you were able to go onto a different route entirely in order to see some sights, no, you can't. You do have to go to Bright Vale before you can go anywhere else. So the interesting place known as just simply Market Town, can't go to yet. Werelip Woods, can't go to yet. Bogshot, can't go to yet. So, gotta follow the crusts. Sometimes with these little outlets you think that something would be on them, but not really. And there are streams that you can walk in and some that you can't. Again, it all comes down to what shade of blue you're dealing with. But one of the last places that really isn't affected by the dark clouds is the Bright Vale area, which is where our last map is that we're going to be traversing. The Bright Vale Outskirts. It also has one of my favorite tracks in the game, so I'm gonna just kind of leave it here for you to listen to it. It's just a really good, somber song for what is actually happening in the game. Piques my interest anyways. But the outskirts aren't too big, except for the eastern part, which we actually can't really go to yet. Because the gates are right here. And depending on who you talk to in terms of the guards, they will actually say something different. Roberta is much more appropriate to use in terms of dialogue, with a good amount of Bright Vale. But we're going to save going into Bright Vale for next time, because we have done a whole lot of trekking in order to get here. So, through these doors, we're going to get straight to the king and give an update of what has actually happened around the now much open world that Act 3 is going to show for us. See you next time, everyone!